A California state senator says there's reason for concern after watching a Team 10 investigation into why a local plastic surgeon and his nurse, who are charged with involuntary manslaughter, can keep practicing medicine without notifying patients.
ABC 10 News investigative reporter Jennifer Kastner interviewed the lawmaker and patient safety advocates who are calling for more transparency within the state medical board.
It's been more than 3 years since that patient died after undergoing a routine procedure here at Divino Plastic Surgery Center in Bonita. The doctor and the nurse are not required to tell any patients who walk through those doors, even though they've been criminally charged. Central Valley State Senator Melissa Hurtado says that's not okay.
I think that there's a big problem and a big concern here.
Senator Hurtado spoke to ABC 10 News after watching our February investigation into Dr. Carlos Chacon and nurse Heather Lang of Bonita's Divino Plastic Surgery Center. They were criminally charged in December with involuntary manslaughter for their alleged role in this young San Diego mother's 2018 botched surgery and death. Even though the patient died more than 3 years ago, nothing about it was available for the public to view on the state medical board's website until the criminal charges were filed 3 months ago.
The system that the medical board has in place is not adequate, and it shouldn't take 3 years, because 3 years, it's really a matter of life or death for not just one, but many patients.
Carmen Balber is with Consumer Watchdog, a patient safety advocacy nonprofit.
There's an urgent need for the Medical Board of California to speed up the pace of their investigations and to prioritize investigations that involve serious negligence that caused long-lasting harm and, as happened in this case, death.
This is the formal accusation by the state medical board that was made public in December, 3 years after the death. According to the report, Dr. Chacon did not tell the patient that there would not be an anesthesiologist present. It also details how the nurse sedated her, but reportedly wasn't adequately trained to do so. About 2 hours into the procedure, she went into cardiac arrest. The report shows an AED, CPR, and various medications were used. Instead of calling 911, the report states that Dr. Chacon called 2 anesthesiologists he worked with for advice, but he allegedly concealed from them how life-threatening her situation was. One reportedly offered to come in and help, but he declined. The other anesthesiologist spoke to him twice and said to immediately call 911 and that she needed to be intubated by paramedics. But according to the report, Dr. Chacon didn't call 911, even as she started to make gurgling noises and exhibit seizure-like activity. Medics were finally called more than 3 hours after CPR and later indicated they were in disbelief that it took that long to make the call. She was found to be brain dead at the hospital, where she died 5 weeks later. Dr. Chacon and his nurse have pleaded not guilty. The patient's family has filed a lawsuit.
What happened should absolutely not have happened.
My sons, for a couple hours, they didn't want to go see doctors because they felt doctors kill people. They killed my mom.
Dr. Chacon's attorney previously wrote that he is aggressively defending himself in this case. Lang's attorney explained that they cannot comment because of the ongoing litigation. The DA's office and the Medical Board of California have not commented on why it took 3 years to file charges and publish an accusation, citing that this is a pending case. In December, the medical board requested a court order for Dr. Chacon to cease practice pending the outcome of the criminal charges. The hearing was supposed to happen in late March, but it's been pushed back to July. Until then, he and the nurse can practice with some limitations, like only performing surgeries with a licensed anesthesiologist or a certified registered nurse anesthetist present. According to the board, to create a requirement for a physician charged with a crime to notify their patients would require the legislature to pass and the governor to sign a new law.
Currently, you have a surgeon and a nurse who have been criminally charged with involuntary manslaughter, yet they are not required to notify their patients that they have been criminally charged. That's California law. Does that need to change?
Absolutely. It's about patient protection.
It's time, finally, for the state of California to prioritize protecting patients over protecting the livelihood of doctors.
Consumer Watchdog is pushing for legislative reforms to increase transparency and accountability, like expanding disclosure on the board's website to include pending investigations if the doctor's conduct resulted in serious harm or death, or if the doctor is a repeat offender.
I think that, things need to change drastically.
The medical board has requested a number of other reforms from lawmakers, like increasing funding, lowering its required burden of proof against doctors to speed up investigations, and putting a deadline on when doctors have to be interviewed if they're being investigated. In Bonita, Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.